Hey everyone, how's it going? Cloud here, and welcome to my guide on the Legacy of Seergaze quest. Now, for this quest you need the following requirements. So you must complete these quests: the Darkness of Halavale, In Aid of the Maya Key, In Search of the Maya Key, Nature Spirit, Priest in Peril, and the Restless Ghost quest. And you're going to need these following skill requirements: level 20 Construction, level 29 Agility, level 31 Slayer, level 35 Mining, level 40 Firemaking, level 47 Crafting, which can be boosted, and level 49 Magic, which cannot be boosted. You're going to also need a combat level in order to be able to defeat some level 100s and a couple of level 77s, so it's whatever you feel comfortable with for them. That's it for the requirements. Now onto the items. So you're going to need a piece of coal, one set of Teak Pyre logs, or a higher version than that, but I would just buy the Teak ones as they're the cheapest. Two different combat styles to fight against protection prayers. So for example, you might want to bring melee and magic or melee and range. It's completely up to you, but sticking to the one combat style will make it quite difficult. You also need 3 air runes and 1 cosmic rune, a silver sickle blessed, and obviously weapon, armour and food for the fights against the different monsters. So obviously, like I said, make sure you bring some weapons and armour to suit both combat styles you'll be using. Maybe not necessarily the armour, but obviously if you're using magic, you're going to need a magic weapon in order to cast spells, and obviously just a fair amount of food just to sort of get you through the quest. Now, the shortcut key that you received from the previous quest is listed as a recommended item. However, I wouldn't really worry about that, because actually getting around Halavale is a lot easier by using the method of being caught and sent to the mines rather than having to use the shortcut key. So I'll explain that a little bit further on. But that is it for the requirements and items. Now onto the quest starting point. So we're currently at the Lodestone, which can be accessed via the Lodestone network. Now, if you don't have this one unlocked, in the video description below I have a guide on unlocking the Lodestone network, which really helps speed up the completion of quests if you have full access. Anyways, from here the quest starting point is to go to the Berg de Rot Ramble starting point, which is just near the entrance to the Patadomus. So we're just going to walk over that direction now if you just watch where I'm going. So you should see a mercenary adventurer who is in rune armour just east of the Patadomus, and he asks you if you can take him to Berg de Rot. Before leaving though, he makes a comment about some strange characters he has seen near the temple. Question him about the characters, and he advises talking to Drezel, and will continue to Berg de Rot until you have done what Drezel asks. Now we're coming up to the part where you'll need the 2 different combat styles, so make sure you have those ready if you don't already. So go down the trapdoor to enter the Patadomus, and you want to talk to Drezel. Drezel hasn't noted anything suspicious about the temple due to the fact that he has been too busy restoring the mausoleum. Now during the restoration process he's discovered a secret room, and he asks you to search both the burial chamber and outside of the temple. So go through the gate that's just near Drezel, and there should be a new stairway on the north wall of the main hall. Go down the stairs and search a broken wall storage that's just east from the stairs, and there is a shiny object inside that appears to sparkle. Upon closer examination, the object seems to be a blood talisman, but a key is required to open the unit. So you want to go back up the stairs and exit the mausoleum by the west exit and enter the captured temple. So it's basically on the other side of the Patadomus, near where that dog used to guard. Go up the stairs to the first floor, and then use a ladder to go onto the second floor, and a cutscene of the suspicious characters plays, and you quickly hide behind the wall and eavesdrop on the group. During the cutscene, you'll suddenly be spotted, and the leaders quickly teleport away and leave 2 Zamorakian bodyguards to kill you and then clear the room. So you must now fight the 2 level 77 guards. The guards can use protection prayers and all combat styles, so you may fight using multiple combat styles in order to work around their prayers. Now, as long as you're not trying to use the attack style they're praying against, you should have no problem against them at all. And like I said, you only need to use 2 different combat styles rather than 3. So if they're using melee, use ranged or magic. If they're using magic, use ranged or melee. You get the idea. But it shouldn't take you too long to dispatch both of them. Just deal with them one at a time. When both guards are almost dead, they'll teleport away. Now once they have left, you want to search the crude table in the northwest alcove for clues to find a torn page and a glove, and we now need to return to Drezel to show him these. So once you return to Dresel, he'll ask you to escort the mercenary adventure to Bergderot. So return to the adventurer and tell him you're ready to do the Bergderot trip. Now if you guys haven't done this before, basically you choose a path to go down to and have to deal with whatever's waiting ahead. Now if you don't, if you want to sort of foresee the event, simply click continue on the path and not quick continue, and the adventurer will tell you what is down the next path, and then you can decide whether you want to do that one or not. Now it doesn't matter if you pick easy, medium or hard, you don't get any different rewards, so literally just do whatever you feel is the best way to get across. Now obviously you'll see a couple of clips of the paths I've taken and how I've kind of got across the obstacles. So I had some enemies to kill, and I also had a bit where I had to get across the swamp, making sure I was standing on the hard bits of the swamp rather than the soft bits. But again, I haven't possibly shown every single sort of thing you might bump into, so if you do get stuck in a particular bit of this, make sure you leave a comment in the comment section and I'll tell you how to get past it, or simply search on the RS wiki Bergderot trip and it should tell you about all the different things you could encounter. Either way, once you've gone through several stages of the trip, you should then arrive at Bergderot. The adventurer will then reveal himself to be a fellow Morytania member and the person you helped, Ivan Strom. So we want to follow him back into the Morytania base, which is under the pub. Obviously look for the icon on the minimap, and we want to go speak to Veliath Hertz. So talk to Veliath about the plan to take out the edicts of Guthix, and afterwards ask him about the next job, at which point he gives you a crate destined for Safalan, who needs provisions. Veliath also mentions a new weapon meant to take out the Firewatch. So we want to go to the boat, which is to the southeast, and this is the one we took last time to get to Hallervale. You guys should remember it, but just watch where I'm going. If you need to get any items from the bank, just make sure you do that now, as there is a bank in Bergderot. Once we arrive at the first part of Hallervale, which is just climbing up the steps, we need to head to the other Morytania base. Now the easiest way to get here is basically to get yourself caught and be put into the mines, and then you can get to the base from there. So what you need to do, if you climb up several of the steps until you encounter some Firewatch, just sort of keep running back and forth, and eventually one of them will spot you and they'll give you a couple of options to choose from, and choose the option to be sent to the mines. Once you appear in the mines, you need to mine some of the ores around the area and fill the minecart up with it, and once the minecart is full, you can then speak to any of the Juvenates and they'll release you then from the mine. This then brings you very close to where the actual Morytania base is, so like I said, I highly recommend doing that. It just saves having to climb through all the buildings or using the shortcut key. So once you've been freed from the mines, if you just head where I'm heading now, pay attention to what's being displayed on my mini-map, as that will help you determine where the base is. When you get near the house just before the base, you should be able to climb up the ladder and jump across to the next building, then climb down and obviously operate the sickle on the wall to reveal the trapdoor, and then you can then enter the new Morytania base. Hopefully most of you will remember the previous quest doing all this, so I should make things a little bit easier for you. So once you've gone into the base, you want to follow it through until you see Safalan, and you want to talk to him, and he then asks you to talk to a fellow member, Flagian, in the same room. Talk to him and ask him about what research he's doing, and he tells the player about the book that you found in the darkness of Hallervale, and it hints that the Firewatch have a sixth sense. They can predict a person's moves, easily evading them. The best way to beat them is to create a new, completely unpredictable weapon, and you should then ask him if they can help, and he tells you to talk to the local fighters. So, talk to Andy S or Kale in the room with the bunk beds just south of Safalan, and they advise you to use a flail described in the book about weaponry. You want to search the middle bunk bed on the north wall of the eastern room, and you should find a book. You want to read it and remember which page that mentions flails, so obviously just skip through that bit until you see a bit about flails. You then want to give this book to Flagian, and he is annoyed by the fact he would need to read an entire book, so he will ask you what page the flail was mentioned. I believe this number is different for each player, so obviously don't go by what it was for me, just make sure you have seen it for yourself. So he will read it and then tells you of a furnace he wants to investigate, and he'll provide you with a hammer and 10 nails to construct a makeshift ladder. So you need to exit the base and then head to the northern part of Mireditch, near where we sort of were a few minutes ago after we exited the mine. So just sort of get out of the main building you're in now and then keep heading north, and again just pay attention to where I'm going on the minimap. So you want to look for a house with the massive debris due east of the mine exit or north of the lab. This is the house with the furnace, but the door is locked. So you want to enter the house, which is south of the locked one, and use the hammer on the centre post, and you'll construct a climbable wooden post with the nails you received. You want to climb up that and then jump across the floorboards to the east, then to the north, and then jump west through the damaged wall which caves in. You then want to climb up the ladder and search the trail first to see the furnace below. You want to take a piece of coal from the coal barrel if you don't have any coal with you, and then go to the bottom floor and select excavate. Spamming it, like repeatedly clicking it, speeds up the process if you wish to do that. Once the furnace is clear, use the coal on the furnace and then select lights, and that should get the furnace up and running. What we then need to do is return to the Marquee base where we spoke to Flagon a moment ago, so obviously using the same method as before, just run to that building and obviously enter it from there, but just watch where I'm going again if you're not too sure. So once you're back in the base, go find Flagon and talk to him, and he'll tell you to make the flail. Now in the same room as him, you want to take 2 silver bars and 2 mithril bars from the barrel on the northern wall. You then want to take a blessed sickle from the shelf on the southwestern wall. You then want to go to the room, which is east of the entrance ladder, and search the crate for a chain link mould. This can be added to your tool belt if you wish. Once you've done that, we then need to return to the furnace that we went to a few moments ago. So again, just watch where I'm going, and I'll speak to you once you're there. So once you're back at the furnace, you need to make the seal frill chain, which will use one of each of the bars and also requires 47 crafting. There is one spare bar of each type, although it's not required for the quest. You can make another chain if you want to make a second flail later on. Once you've made the chain, you then want to return to Flagon in the base once again. Once you're back in the base, use the blessed sickle on him, and he'll then take the chain and sickle and tells the players to return to Saffron. So Saffron will introduce you to Andius and Kale, and he then asks the player to meet them at the laboratory and help them search it. This is the one that you found near the end of the Darkness of Halavale quest. If you don't have one on your tool belt, take a saw from the tool rack on the west wall before departing for the lab, and most of you should already have that. Then we need to head to the laboratory, which is southeast of the furnace we was at a few minutes ago, but once again, just watch where I'm going and I'll lead you to it. So once you're near this building here, you should find the slashed tapestry that you did in the Darkness of Halavale. You want to walk through the tapestry, and then obviously you go into the laboratory. Upon entering it, a cutscene will play where you see Saffron and the others dead. Examine the body of Saffron, and they'll reveal that they were just playing dead as a joke. What you need to do is search the door to the southwest, and you'll be given the option to use the saw from your tool belt to make a hole in it. Another cutscene will play, and you then want to go down the long and winding tunnel beyond the door to a chamber with skeletal hands and mutated blood veils, and you then want to go through another long passage to the northwest to reach a large room, but again just watch where I'm going. Enter the room to see a cutscene with Safflan and the bodyguard, and after the cutscene, Safflan tells the players to search the rock in the northern part of the cavern. So search the rock just over here and they'll feel familiar somehow. Report to Safflan, and a cutscene plays in which the Firewatch attacks Safflan and the bodyguard. Do not attempt to help them even though they appear to be losing, because Safflan will then tap into a new power, scaring off the Firewatches, and eventually you and Safflan will return to the Morytania base. Talk to him, and he wants to keep what happened quiet, and he gives the player the materials for the Ivandis flail, which is the chain, the sickle and the rod of Ivandis, and a cut emerald. Follow these next set of instructions carefully, as you cannot get some items back from him once he's given them to you. So first off, use the emerald on the sickle. Then you want to use enchant level 2 jewellery on the emerald sickle. Afterwards, use the chain on the enchanted emerald sickle or the rod of Ivandis, and you'll then create the Ivandis flail. Return to Safflan, and he asks you to test the new flail by killing a Firewatch. So if you go outside, you should see plenty of Firewatch flying around, and you should be able to just click one of them to start attacking them straight away. Now, even though they're level sort of 75 upwards, they're not exactly very strong due to the weakness of the flail. So once you have killed one of the Firewatch, it will die and drop a Fire corpse, and you want to take this and then return to Safflan back in the base. Once you return to Safflan, he will tell you to bring this good news to Veliath along with the Fire corpse. We now need to get back to Bergdorf. The easiest way to get back there is if you teleport to the Jagex Lodestone, then keep heading through the swamp until you find the part of the boat, and then you can use that to get near Bergdorf. But again, just watch where I'm going just to make it easier. So once you're back in Bergdorf, go in the Morytania base, which is underneath the pub, and talk to Veliath and tell him about what happened, and he will tell you to go speak to Drezel to find a way to dispose of the corpse. Ask Veliath what to do next, or Drezel will not examine the corpse. So we now need to return to Drezel at the Patadomus Temple, so once again, quickest way to get here is to go to the Jagex Lodestone, then head to the Patadomus from there. So once you're in the Patadomus, talk to Drezel and he'll examine the corpse and surprised that there is a tormented soul in the body, and the player remembers something similar but can't quite pin it down. Now ask Drezel what to do next, and he suggests going to the Columbrarian to meditate. So go through the gate west of Drezel and then go down the stairs to the north near where we saw that blood talisman earlier. You want to use your Teak Pyre logs on a funeral pyre followed by the corpse and then light it. You'll then get an ornate tomb key. Once you have this key, go to the locker with the blood talisman, which you noticed earlier. You then want to right click it, open the storage, and you'll then receive the talisman. The key vanishes, but the player obtains the blood talisman, and Drezel comes in to congratulate and bless the prayer, and then leaves. Go back upstairs and talk to Drezel about what to do now, and Drezel will advise going back to Veliath once again. So what we need to do is return to Veliath in Bergdorf once more, and that'll be the quest finished. So I'll speak to you in a moment. So once you're back in Bergdorf, go into the Morytania base one last time by going underneath the pub and talk to Veliath and tell him about Drezel and the Fire corpse. Once you finish speaking to him, he will thank you and it will come up congratulations, you completed the Legacy of Seergaze quest. You're rewarded 2 quest points, 3000 magic experience, 2000 agility experience, 4000 crafting experience, 2000 mining experience, 1000 construction experience and 2000 slayer experience, a Tome of XP 2nd edition which has 3 chapters giving 2500 XP in skills chosen from at least level 35, so you get 3 charges of that. You will obviously would have received the Ivandis flail and the blood talisman. You'll have the ability to craft blood runes at a blood altar with level 77 rune crafting. You can access the Morytania dungeon, which contains skeletal hands, zombie hands, bloodfelds and mutated bloodfelds. Obviously you will now have access to the Furnace and Mire Ditch. You can use the Columbarium beneath the Patadomus to cremate Via Corpse for rewards, and access to the Via Watch event in Temple Trekking. And of course 2 treasure hunter keys and 2 hearts of ice. So there we go. Overall, not a really difficult quest, just a lot of running back and forth, which is the main sort of theme of this quest series. And there's only one more part of this quest series now, which is the branches of Darkmeyer. So once I have the requirements to do that, obviously I'll make that guide, and that'll be available in the description below when it's ready. And obviously there's a lot better rewards to come from there. Now, like I said, it's mostly running around involved in this quest, but obviously if you run into any problems at all, leave a comment in the comment section below and I'll help you out as best I can. Other than that, I don't think you'll find any problems with this quest. Thank you very much for watching. Please make sure you like, favourite, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to share with your friends. Cheers guys, bye bye.